Good morning, Adapt Inspire. This is John Sanei here from a beautiful Cape Town this morning, doing my every 2-week Inspire video, and I'm really excited to be sharing this week's. I want to talk about this idea about our daily actions and whether they are all about running towards the light or away from the darkness. You see, on the outside, our actions look pretty much exactly the same. But on the inside, we are either anxious as we're getting away from something, or we're excited about moving towards something. And what we've got to get to grips with is that if we are running away from the darkness, our energy gets depleted quickly. When we're running towards the light, our energy is endless. And in order for us to get to grips with this understanding of this internal dialogue, which is something I talk about so much to my clients and friends and people that come to my lectures, is we've got to get to grips with this internal dialogue that we have. And it's always somewhere I need to start, because whatever actions, whatever energy, whatever goals, whatever is driving us is the crux of how we become more inspired or less inspired. And the way I go about figuring out whether people are feeling more energized or not energized is always based on the fact of us working on the 3 invisible containers that we have within us. And let me take you through these 3 invisible containers. Firstly, we have a physical container. And we know all about the physical container, and this is the container where we need to become very clear and responsible about what we're putting into this physical container. How are we watching our pH balance? How are we watching the acidity levels in our body? Are we making sure we're getting the right nutrients on a daily basis? How much responsibility are we taking for what we're putting inside our mouths? The second container is the emotional container. Is how much responsibility are we taking to make sure that we have healed relationships from the past, we have forgiven the people we need to forgive, we need to become consciously blaming instead of unconsciously blaming people from the past who have hurt us or have not hurt us. And this sort of process of healing the emotional invisible container allows us to keep the energy in, allows us to make sure that we're not leaking any power, and we're making sure that our emotional state is right. And the third invisible container, something that we spend a lot of time on, is of our business container, our daily activity container. And this is also as important to focus on with an invisible container mindset. In other words, am I doing what I love? Am I in a place of peace with my career, with my business? And if I'm not, what active choices am I making to get out of the scenario that's either leaking energy or gaining energy? You see, our energy is all we have throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the month. If we are not getting to grips about what is creating more energy or decreasing energy, we're not giving it the time of day in order to start planning the emotional leakages, the physical leakages, or the business leakages, and this is all energetic is what I'm speaking about, then we're never able to contain energy and never able to actually self-inspire and self-motivate ourselves. If we don't get to grips with this idea around whether we're running away from the darkness or towards the light, we might always find ourselves anxious. We might always find ourselves in a place of depleting energy, not increasing energy. So I urge you for the next 2 weeks to really ask these questions of yourselves. Ask the questions, am I most excited when going to work? If not, what am I doing to change that? Am I feeling good about what I'm putting in my body, or has it become a habit for me to put rubbish into my body? And if I can break down these rituals, how can I replace these rituals? And thirdly, what emotional leakages are we having? How can we go about healing these relationships? How can we go about making sure that we solidify these invisible containers to maximize our energy, to maximize our self-motivation, to maximize us showing up in peak performance? Ladies and gentlemen, we have one life. If we don't take this responsibility, When are we going to ever take it? Goodbye from a beautiful Sunday today. I look forward to chatting to you again. Ciao.